What is the best indicator to use for futures trading? If you've seen any of my videos, you could probably guess it's the VWAP. The VWAP has completely transformed my trading in the past year and a half, as well as all the people that tune into the daily live streams on ASFX TV. And I even built my own course around the VWAP because it's really that powerful and simplified my trading. And you'll see exactly why when we get into the charts here. Let's just look at ES, bare bones on the 2-minute. We'll keep on our opening range and our New York VWAP. That's going to be probably the keyest VWAP that we'll look at specifically for this video. If I had to boil it down to one, it'll be tough. But I would say the 1 minute or 2 minute, the lower time frame, New York VWAP anchored from the 9:30 New York Open is like the line in the sand for me. Simply, if you're struggling or even if you're prospering at trading, if you're above it, look for longs. If you're below it, look for shorts. Real quick on that note, I think it was yesterday when we had that crazy volatility. We could throw in the New York VWAP from there. Austin was looking for shorts on our New York stream up here, thinking it was maybe too high, overextended, wanted to short it back down. I think you can clearly see how that would have worked out. Would have been smoked in the face because we don't want to be fighting the New York VWAP. But that alone can't be our strategy. It's just buying it whenever and anywhere as long as we're on the right side of it. That's where my course comes into play, the Futures 2.0. I'll show you your exact entry points with the other VWAPs to use. But just simply put, today I took a long on stream today on the break back above New York VWAP in line with that 15-minute bullish trend. Okay, cool, so we make money to the upside. But then money didn't keep on going to the upside. So I'm not going to just marry that bias and look for longs again down here because I made money long earlier. Let me just keep on longing it. Well, no, because now we're below the New York VWAP. I cannot buy it below it. Could I? Yeah, sure, I guess I could, but I shouldn't, and it's got lower probabilities if I'm buying it against the VWAP. Instead, look at the slope of the VWAP. That's also going to tell you a lot. I guess at this point, it's kind of arching here. But when I'm long it, we're arching up. And when I'm looking for shorts later on in the afternoon, the New York VWAP is sloping down. So you want to be on the right side of it, first of all. But even take into account the slope of it. It's going to be even tougher to buy it against a New York VWAP that's falling against you. And obviously, you're under it. The plays to do it were to sell it off of our key levels of initial balance low in and around anywhere here, back in the direction of this short-term trend, which is telling me short because we're below the New York VWAP. We can go over this crazy day from yesterday with the insane volatility, but really it was long, fake news, back down, blah, blah, blah. Let's go to a normal day, if there is such thing as a normal day. Let's rewind it here and rethrow on our VWAP. Same thing. The New York VWAP. We find a short here at the open. When we get back below, in line with that higher time frame picture of being short bias, right? Because we hadn't turned yet or had that bullish volatile day that's soon to follow this markup. So we move down to the downside. Just because we're above the New York VWAP here, again, doesn't mean we just buy it because, oh, we're back above, and then if we get back below, I'll sell it. We need to take into account other information that the 15-minute is bearish. We're still making lower highs today, and you can get in and around this New York VWAP is going to be your best price play to short it around this New York VWAP back in the direction of trend. You even come and retest it again later on in the afternoon, back in the direction of trend. So just reading and reacting to that VWAP keeps you one-sided. Keep in mind that 15-minute structure. It's also using the 15-minute VWAP. We could pull that up here. You could see today, I guess on that note, we're going to jump back and forth here. On the first market we went over just a couple minutes ago on the longs at the open, because I'm above the 15-minute daily VWAP. I'm good to long that. I'm above the New York and our 15-minute. But when I'm shorting it, it's now below it on the 1 minute and on the 15-minute. So those two check out. That's why I'm allowed, or I should be able to allow, to trade it short on that given day. This is the bearish day that we're looking at here. How could I be looking for longs just because a couple minutes went above the New York VWAP? If I just use two simple VWAPs on the 15-minute, a changeover of day from the changeover of day, and on the 1 minute, this New York one, you can see this pop above isn't telling me to buy it. We're still very heavily bearish below more VWAPs than not, and still making bearish structure of lower highs and lower lows. So just sticking on the one side of that, find your key levels. I give you my key levels that I trade off of on stream every morning, as well as in the ASFX TV course. So if you're really struggling to just be on the right side of it, simply just slow down and ask yourself, what is the structure telling me to do? Let's throw on another start of day, change over view up again, and here on the 1 minute on our right side, I think it did the same exact thing, if I'm not mistaken. Let's throw on our New York view up on the right, which is our 2-minute chart, and our 15-minute is on the left here. So we got above the New York view up. Am I buying it? Well, on our 15-minute, we're still very heavily lower highs and lower lows underneath the daily VWAP, this black one on the 15-minute. So no, I don't have full alignment to long yet. If I was above both of them, then maybe I could warrant some longs, but that's not going to be until maybe over here later on in the day to get it back above it on both time frames. So just because we're above it on the 1 or 2 minute does not warrant enough longs yet. There's not enough information for that I need to take into account both of these VWAPs as my line in the sand on the 15 minute and the 1 minute. And just simply put, if you throw the VWAP away or not, I want to be in the direction of structure. We're still falling today very heavily here on the 15 minute. There's no buyers in control yet. We're still falling. So again, like I said, until we're starting to turn with higher highs and higher lows, then I'll be looking for longs potentially later on in the afternoon. Because that's even the same thing today. If you go back to today's charts, it was, I know there's a lot of VWAPs on, we'll remove those. Higher highs and higher lows. So just because we're below it a little bit doesn't warrant enough shorts until we get lower highs and lower lows. That's why on the 1 minute here, I waited for more information to short it. If we go back and unrewind this, you can see I didn't just take the first short down here. I waited for it to hold underneath. Buyers can't bring us up. Buyers can't bring us up. Now I want to sell it because we're actually holding underneath it and maybe changing that sentiment. So I think just using that 15 minute is a big part of my trading, as well as just keeping it simple with 2 VWAPs. Yes, I'll add a yesterday's New York. There's high day and low day VWAPs on here, which we didn't put on. But that's also a huge factor to it. So I think I really don't overcomplicate it. I know there's many more VWAPs I could be using. But at the end of the day, whatever VWAPs you do use, I do think that's going to be your best indicator that you could use. Because whether it's a start of week, a high of week, a news anchored VWAP, all-time high, whatever the case may be, I do believe it's the most powerful one we can use. I know we're slowing here. Let's just throw in a yesterday's New York. So we have a yesterday's New York VWAP here, which I'll sometimes use as well. Maybe we want to hold this and chop around and pop higher. Who knows? Maybe we'll come into tomorrow with that information. But it gives me these levels to play in and around at, or not trade into at the very least, or put some targets to trade to, right? I could have shorted it there, and then maybe tomorrow I'll long it, back away from it, back in the overall direction of trend. But I think you need the VWAP on your chart on the 1 minute as well as on the 15 minute. It's just going to keep you very strict for what direction you're willing to trade it in, right? You're going to be less reactive to a 1 minute price action move, like those times we went above the New York VWAP on the 1 minute. But the VWAP on the 15 minute is going to save you and say, hey, wait a minute, we're still falling today. So I actually don't want to buy this right here. This might just be trapping me into a long, and I really should be looking for shorts either right now or in a little bit from now if we can get back below the New York VWAP on the 1 minute, which on all these days we went over, they eventually do, and continue that bearish trend. So hopefully you guys found value in that. Again, all these trades are explained even more on Futures 2.0 and AceFX TV. You could always use code Evan to become a member there, where I teach you the course as well as we trade it live together at every New York Open. And right now, Top 1 Futures, 50% off if you use code Evan. I personally locked myself out today because I'm up over $1,100 across my 2 instant funded accounts, so I locked myself out. That's why I love the Project X platform. I'm up $600. Let's keep it that way. I don't want to give back gains one day at a time, copy to multiple accounts. That's how you get payouts and survive for the long term. So, like I said, code Evan's always going to match their best deal that they're running. Currently, it's 50% off. Still a crazy deal, but it won't always be that. But the deal will always be matched with code Evan. So like I said, hopefully you guys found value in it. If you ever have any questions on the VWAP or which one I use, how to not use it maybe, what time frame, all that good stuff, I'm sure I have a video on it on this channel. But if not, always feel free to reach out, leave a comment, drop a like. I appreciate you guys. Let's follow our rules. Let's start trading smarter with the VWAP and trade safe. I'll see you guys on the charts tomorrow morning.